I recently posted a build that I use for Slosher, and to some people's surprise, they were wondering why I was using so much quick respawn. I followed up with a YouTube short explaining my thought process of why a weapon such as a Slosher would benefit a lot from quick respawn, and even with that explanation, I had comments saying that it was too much and I should use Intensify action on a Slosher instead. And this had me thinking, is this guy cooking? And no, it does not make much sense for a weapon such as the Slosher, which does not have any RNG, to use Intensify action. Because one of the effects of IA is that it improves your aim, aka your RNG, so why would you put an ability on a weapon that doesn't suffer from RNG? And yes, you could argue that you would use it to benefit your squid rolls instead, but at that point, why are you using an ability that only gives you one of the benefits of the ability for this particular weapon? If you're using something like a 52 gal, where the shots go pretty wild and it has a lot of RNG, then yeah, use IA. But for a bucket, it does not make much sense. So this had me thinking, how do people think about gear building, and does it really matter at the end of the day? Well, we're here to talk about it. What's up everyone? My name is Gus and welcome to the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that like button and let me know in the comments what you guys think about builds. Also, if you want to support my channel, hit that subscribe button. We recently just got 5k subscribers and we're looking to get 10k subscribers. With that out of the way, let's get started with the video. Let's first talk about how people develop builds. In my opinion, creating builds is one of the most satisfying things for me to do in Splatoon. Not only am I able to create different outfits for my character, but I feel like different abilities allow you to experience the game in different ways. You learn new playstyles, or you're able to optimize how your weapon can perform to help you win more games. It's pretty much a form of expression of how you want to use your main weapon and your special and your sub weapon. Now, yes, I know some of y'all just like dressing up your character and you just put whatever on and you don't care about the abilities. That's fine. But there is an optimization purpose to gear building. Multiple top players will share their builds on Sendo.inc, and you could potentially identify trends among weapons. For example, if you look up Slosher, you will see that the majority of top and high level players use some sort of a quick respawn build. If you look up Sloshing Machine, you will see that a lot of people focus on mobility abilities such as swim speed or run speed. And yeah, there might be some variation between builds, but this goes back to my main point, that building gear is a form of expression of how you want to play the game. And for most of us competitive players, optimization is a core component to all of this. And you might be asking yourself, what the heck do I mean by optimization? Basically, we make builds to be as effective as possible to help us win our matches. I'm not going to be using Intensify action on any Slosher because it doesn't benefit the weapon class in the same way that it would benefit the shooter class, for example. So rather than including that ability in my gear set, I invest in gear that will help my weapon perform. This is one of the reasons you see a lot of top and high level players use something called utility subs. And you'll notice that it's always a combination of one sub of ink resistance, quick super jump, and special saver, because even one sub can make a stark difference in the game. For example, just one sub of quick super jump reduces the frames of how long you are vulnerable from 80 frames to 58 frames. Now, this might sound like a lot of jargon to you, but basically you just jump out faster simply because of one sub, and that could be the difference of you staying alive or you getting picked off. And if you've played Splatoon, you know how much of an impact that could potentially play in your games. And the competitive community of Splatoon pretty much agreed that one or two subs of these utility subs is optimal, and you pretty much don't need to add more unless you're playing a particular weapon such as the Splat Roller, in which top level players like Omega use more than just one or two subs of quick super jump. Now wait, hold on comment section, I know what you're gonna say. Well Gus, it's not that your Slosher build is bad, because it doesn't have enough variety. It's more that having too much quick respawn leads to diminishing returns of the ability. And you're right, the more you put on a specific ability, the impact of the ability decreases. But I'd argue that there are some abilities where it's okay to stack abilities, a pure or even two pures, depending on your weapon and your playstyle. For example, stacking quick respawn on weapons like Tetris, Slosher, Wiper makes a lot of sense because QR encourages players to take risks, and if they get the kill, great. If they don't, they have a safety net. But there are some abilities such as Sub Defense Up where I don't think it makes a lot of sense to run a pure. Because what's your playstyle? Running into bombs and surviving them?
I'm in danger!
Given that this game is a multiplayer competitive game, does gear building really matter in the long run? Let's first tackle the very simple explanation of no, it does not matter. I can understand the argument that builds are really just there to complement your playstyle, and they're not a determinant to you winning or losing games. It may or may not have a significant impact on your game. For example, someone might comment, well, I use Slosher with Ink Saver main, Thermal Ink, and Drop Roller, and this is far away from what top and high level players are using, and I got a pretty high X power in solo queue.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the
Well, congrats, a round of applause for you, but your personal experience does not define the overall experience of the player base of your weapon. Anecdotal experiences don't really tell the whole story. You can tell me it doesn't matter, but I'd argue that it does play a role in how you experience the game. For example, if you were not using last-ditch effort in the endgame meta of Splatoon 2, where bombs and painting for specials were crucial in winning matches, then you probably had a hard time in the game. Or just to make it more relevant in Splatoon 3, Comeback has shown that it is a staple ability because of how the meta is currently revolving around Tacticooler. And Tacticooler and Comeback pair incredibly well because Tacticooler increases the speed of your respawn and Comeback benefits those that are respawning all the time. I've probably already overused my explanation of why a lot of quick respawn and Comeback is good on a bucket, and if you're interested, just check out the YouTube short and Slosher ability video that I have in the description below. So to avoid giving another Slosher and QR example, let me just give you some alternative cases of how you think about builds. Take the Splatling class. This class is known for having a lot of benefits with run speed, because years ago in Splatoon 2 in version 1.4, the devs increased movement speed when using run speed when shooting as a Splatling by roughly 20%. This is why you see heavy Splatling builds look like this. And yeah, there are still diminishing returns, but investing more in run speed gives you more potential with this weapon class than say something like Ink Saver main, because why would you need to save more ink if you're holding your charge most of the time? Run speed will help you out more with this weapon's playstyle. And to be clear, you don't need to stack one specific ability for all weapons. Some have pretty good variety. Just look at my builds for Machine and Tri-Slosher. They're not just one ability, but what I put on there is intentional to improve the performance of the overall kit and my playstyle. So can stacking one particular ability be good? Yeah. Can having variety of abilities also be good? Yeah, it does. It just depends on your weapon. And I recommend checking out Sendal.ink to see what our high level and top level players are saying. I do want to stress that I think builds matter, but it shouldn't be taken as a sole determinant to winning games. There are various factors as to why you win or lose games. It could be your mechanical skills, it could be your teammates, it could be your weapon compositions, the map and mode that you're playing on, and much more. Can we see if gear building has a significant impact? Sure, we could obviously run a bivariate regression to see how your builds impact the percentage of games that you win, but clearly that's a statistics class that they don't teach at the Inkblot Art Academy. Gear building is an art, and everyone has their opinion on builds. But in my case, I like the art of optimization because I want to improve my chances of winning the game. And if you do too, make sure to check out Sendal.ink where you can learn what top and high level players are using. Sendal.inc even has a build analyzer that you can use to understand how a particular ability is impacting your weapon. So I recommend checking this website out, because at the end of the day, this is a learning process. And if this is something you don't want to do, that's completely fine. But like I said, this is how I approach the game, and I like to win, and I feel that building better builds help me in the long run. Let me know what you guys think, and thanks for watching.